Hey guys, it's Nikki and I'm making mini plans. Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little lineup update for my planners and journals and basically just review how the last 6 to 7 months have gone, what's working for me, what isn't, anything I want to change, anything new, and maybe a little surprises as well. At the beginning of the year, my lineup started with 4 notebooks and journals, as you can see here. I started with my journal, creative journal, my main planner, my work planner, and my faith journal. Basically, I'm going to go through each one and just let you know how I've been using them and how I'm planning to use them going forward. So I'm going to start with the smallest notebook in my lineup, which is my journal. So this is my creative journal / personal journal. Although if I'm being honest, this has been more of a personal journal rather than a creative journal. This is a Dingbat A6 dotted bullet journal, and I really love this size. It just has worked well for me over the last 2 years. I started journaling in this notebook in 2025, which as you can see here. I previously was in an A5 prior to this, and I decided to go a lot smaller because I wanted something that was easy to travel with. And that has been so useful over the last 2 years. So I'm really happy that I chose a smaller notebook. Having said that, I do feel like I'm not the type of person to journal consistently, and I think it's been a hard time for me coming to terms with that. I started journaling this year. I'm just going to flip there. This is where I started this year's journaling, and as you can see, this is how much I've journaled over the last 6 months. So not a lot, and the pages are quite small. So as you can imagine, I haven't really been journaling or writing down very much in my entries. I think I've actually spent 2 months where I didn't journal anything, and there was a two month gap, definitely for sure. I did spend just not writing anything, and I think it's just because, most of the time I don't really feel like writing down my thoughts. If there's an experience I've had that I've really enjoyed, I will want to keep it as a memory and write it down. But most of the time, I'm pretty okay not going to this notebook and writing it down. In fact, most of my journal entries have been about how long it's been since the last time I journaled, which is not exactly what you want your journal to look like, but that's the truth. And I do like to write down my honest thoughts in here most of the time. So yeah, I will say that journaling for me hasn't been as much of a creative outlet or as much of a consistent outlet for me. I do use stickers in here, but they're mostly functional. There is a bit of decoration going on, but it's nothing too extravagant, especially with a notebook this size. You can't really fit a lot of stickers in here, and I don't really need to. I mostly do fill it up with my words and my writing, so that's the point. But I feel like if there's anything I'm going to change going forward, I don't know. I think I will mostly journal in the same way, to be honest. I probably won't put pressure on myself to journal every day, or I might look into maybe journaling prompts if I really want to be more consistent with my journaling. But it really depends on how much time I have in my weekly routines to sit down and journal, especially this year because I'm focusing more on my hobbies and um, just being more analog. I think journaling, it has become a little bit of a part of that, but I'm trying to focus on other areas where I can exercise my brain a bit more, have a little bit more fun with hobbies and things. So yeah, overall, I do like this journal. I think if I finish this one, I might get another one of the same size, but it just might be another 2-year journal for me rather than 1 year. And that's okay. I'm happy with that. This is my work planner. I'm using the Everyday Diary from Box Clever Press, and the cover is also from Box Clever Press. I'm just going to take the notebook out for a minute. This definitely looked a lot newer at the beginning of the year. As you can see, the foil has kind of rubbed off on the cover itself there, which didn't surprise me. It did the same thing last year when I had my previous work planner. But yeah, it definitely looked a lot newer. I have been quite consistent with this planner, I would say. I've been using it on a weekly basis, trying to prep as much as possible. This planner is, at this point, is strictly functional. I haven't really been using stickers in here, at least not a lot, but every now and then, if I feel like it, I'll put one sticker or two, but most of the time I'm not really doing much with that. I have been using this to track my holidays and paydays and things like that. I haven't done July much yet, or August, but mostly I've been quite consistent with it. And my monthly pages, I've been trying to stay on top of those, tracking my work schedule and also my holidays, which are left blank. If there's a holiday week, I leave that blank. I'm not going to show you too much of this planner because I'm trying to keep things as confidential as possible. But I'll just flip through to some pages that I can show you. Okay, so most of the time I track in the month my monthly goals or any notes I want to keep track of. I mostly use this as a currently page kind of thing, just to make sure I'm focusing on the right things, and any deadlines I can remind myself of that. So that has been going quite well. The weekly pages I mostly just reserve for any tasks I want to do during that week, or need any reminders as well. It's kind of very basic. I don't try to overcomplicate things. I really thought I was going to be writing a lot more in my weekly spreads, but most of the time I don't really write very much. If I have like a holiday week, I'll leave it blank, or I will write a scripture that focuses on rest. I'll just show you one example of that. Like here, I'll just leave this page blank, but then I'll fill it up with scripture. This one for February, I wrote down Hebrews 4 verse 9 to 10, which says, "So then, there remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For whoever has entered God's rest has also rested from his works, as God did from his." So I do think having scripture in here has been nice to kind of incorporate faith into my work and just take my faith into work in a small way. And that has been mostly really encouraging for me. And it reminds me that this week wasn't left blank by accident. So I've also been writing down scripture in my monthly spreads, which you may have seen already, but those ones I keep related to work. So, for example, I used 1 Corinthians 3, verse 8 to 9 in this one. And it says, "The one who plants and the one who waters have one purpose, and they will each be rewarded according to their own labor. For we are co workers in God's service. You are God's field, God's building." So I've kind of been looking up scriptures related to work, which has been quite fun to do and keep that in my planner. So it's an extra way in which I can exercise my faith in my daily life. So I've been enjoying that a lot. I think I did say in my last lineup video that I was planning on using this bill tracker page to track my pay slips. I've only just started doing that, but I've only done it once. I haven't really filled out the rest of the months, but I'm trying that out and seeing how that goes. I don't know. I do have electronic pay slips, so I don't really worry too much about what I'm tracking, but it is nice to have it written down somewhere so I can refer to it easily. So I do want to get that done, keep track of that in this notebook. I just need to fill it out at some point. And in the back, I think I showed some pages. I created some pages at the back as well. There are some notes pages, and which I'll just show you. So I created this projects page, which I actually haven't used yet. I probably will use it more towards the end of the year, but it's just to track any deadlines and small projects I need to complete, any learning, training things. and the deadlines, basically. I probably will use that towards the end of the year. And I think, oh yes, I did show this as well. This is a holiday tracker that I created. I have started using this. It is a good idea, I think, for me to keep track of my holidays, how many hours I have left to request off, and any overtime I'm doing to make sure that all balances. So this has been a useful spread for me, and it'll probably look more full towards the end of the year because I'm going to be planning more holidays then. But for now, this is how it looks. So yeah, I think this planner overall has been working for me quite well. But like I said, I think most of the time during the weeks, I'm not really planning too much. I kind of have a regular routine in my work schedule already that I kind of know almost by heart. So I do think this planner, although it has been useful to have a separate planner for work, it may not be something I may need going forward. I'm not sure. I might keep it and, just have that as an extra, but I might not be something that I focus too much on in my weekly routines. So that's definitely something I'm going to be thinking about over the next few months about whether I want to keep this in my lineup or maybe try something a lot smaller, maybe try something that has more of a monthly layout rather than monthly and weekly. But at the moment, I'm quite used to the system, so I don't mind continuing it. It's time for my main planner now, and this is, of course, my mini happy planner. A lot of people have been asking me where I got this cover from, and I got it on Amazon. It's from a brand called Oxnite, and it is a B6 cover. I only use the mini discs in this cover. I haven't used any bigger discs because I don't really think it'll fit very comfortably. But yeah, I'm I'm used to using mini discs anyway, so I don't really make this planning too chunky. I have really kept this much the same. I probably only swapped these cards in once or twice, and these are basically the same cards that I started with in the cover. And at the back, I do have some stickers in here, some extra stickers that I've used in this little pocket. I also keep some stickers here in the cover pockets, so those are also tucked in there. I have plenty of pockets here, but I don't really use all of them, but I don't really need to. One thing I do wish I could change is these clips. They're very thick, and I feel like it's hard to kind of hold things in them. They're mostly like paper clips, so these are kind of thick cards that I put in here, and squeezing them in here has been a bit tight. So I'm kind of thinking I might want to change that at some point, but I'm not really sure where to go with that. I have to look into more like cover clips or um, stationery that would suit that purpose. So in terms of like my um, planning system in general, this planner is a dashboard layout, and this is my first year using the dashboard layout. I found this a bit of an adjustment, especially balancing decorating and functional planning. But I think I'm trying to get into a groove now where that has been working for me quite well. I've also been trying to focus more on planning ahead as much as possible. So I've been using my Gear at a Glance page to track future events, which has definitely been helpful. Although I use a mobile calendar for it most of the time, having that written down here as well gives me a chance to see it all on one page at the same time. So that's been very useful for me as well. I have been kind of keeping my monthly and currently pages very simple and very minimal. I did share this. Did I share this at the beginning of the year? I don't think I did. I think I might have done. I'm not sure. But I have been trying to not decorate too much on these, only because I spend a lot of time decorating my weekly spreads, and I find like I would rather just not focus too much on decorating every single page. So yeah, I've been trying to keep these pages simple, so it allows me to have more space to write on the pages, because the boxes are quite small in general, and also makes me feel like I don't have to put a lot of box stickers on the page. And I'm becoming quite comfortable with that. I think having these kind of simple spreads has been very useful. I think this might be my favorite one, this one in February. I really loved using these stickers, and the currently page, I love this as well. The colors are really nice, so I'm really happy with this one. But most of the time, yeah, my currently pages have been quite minimal, not too many stickers, not a lot going on there. And it helps me to kind of focus on using up my stash as much as possible and not feeling like I have to buy more stickers to make these spreads worth it in terms of decorating. So that's definitely been a great benefit for me. In terms of like the weekly spreads, I think I have been definitely getting used to the way things are laid out here. And in the beginning, I wasn't really a fan of having to cover up the kind of uh, title prompts here, but I found a way to make it work where it's not much of an inconvenience. So decorating hasn't been too bad either. And there are quite a few spreads in here that I really loved and enjoyed filling out. This one in particular is one of my favorites from January. I loved the neutral earthy colors that I used, and also that I had plenty of space to write here, but it also still feels quite decorative. It feels uh, quite stylish, which I really liked for this spread in particular. This is another spread I enjoyed from May this year. I really love using the floral stickers on this page, and as you can see, I can fit a lot of stickers on the page but still have plenty of room to write. There's often a lot of strategic planning going on in terms of how I want to cover up the prompts if I'm not willing to use them. So as you can see, it's not easy to notice at first glance where I've hidden the prompts, but I'm really playing around with using like large box stickers, which is encouraging me to find ways to use bigger box stickers in this planner. So especially in this dashboard layout where it feels like there's so much restriction in terms of where you can put things, I'm definitely enjoying working with that. If there's one thing that I don't enjoy as much with a dashboard layout, it's using like quote stickers. I still have a lot of quote stickers to use up, and oftentimes I don't really want to put them on places where there are already like lines on the page. Like the only blank section is this box here and this section here, which I'm mostly covered up with stickers, but that's where I would usually put a quote. But most of the time I end up not using quote stickers because I feel like it will just take up space or just won't fit in the right place. So I'm trying to find a way to work around that at the moment. I am really enjoying having space for my habits tracking and my scripture of the week, and also like tracking my playlists. There's just plenty of space in this layout to write, and I really enjoy that. I think I initially thought that having lines everywhere would make things more difficult, but I still can change up the size of my handwriting. I can use thicker pens here and there. And so I don't think it's as restrictive as I thought. I definitely have a new perspective on it compared to when I first started in the dashboard, and I'm more optimistic about planning going forward. If there's anything I'm going to change, I'm not sure, but I think decorating weekly spreads in advance has definitely helped take the pressure off of planning ahead and helped me to stay on top of my planning routine. So I've definitely been grateful for that. The one thing that I've probably had a challenge with is managing my content creation schedule. So because I'm using this planner to plan, but I'm also sharing my planner content from this planner, it has made kind of scheduling things a little bit tricky, especially on social media. I have found that oftentimes, even though my planner is already decorated, ready to go, I realize I need to take pictures, film reels, things like that for my channel, and also my social media accounts. So I often have found every now and then that instead of planning the week before, like on a Sunday, I end up planning on a Monday. So most of my Monday spreads are most of my Monday sections are usually filled with like back planning or memory planning rather than actual pre-planning. So that has been something I'm trying to work on and work around. Most of the time, I am staying on top of decorating my pages in advance so that when it comes to actually planning them, they're already ready to use. I just really need to fine tune and schedule my content well in advance to make this more comfortable. But I think that will be a learning process for me, especially with this YouTube channel. I've definitely been trying to adjust to things being on YouTube. I was on Instagram for much longer and I was mostly just sharing photos on there. But now filming videos, long form videos, has made that more interesting. It's made that more of a longer process for me. So I'm definitely trying to find more of a routine that can fit into my schedule a lot better. But for the most part, I am enjoying this dashboard layout. I do feel like it's definitely a great layout to work in, and it encourages me to write a lot more, not just my weekly plans, but also journaling, gratitude, things like that. Also reflect how my planning system has been going, and that has been great as well. I have already started planning in July, so I have been focusing on starting to redate my planner because this was originally a 2025 to 2026 planner, and now it's a 2026 planner. So I'm just kind of focusing on redating the pages in advance, and thankfully there are redating guides that can help with that. In terms of like my previous planner, I had to, what I did with, because it was a vertical, is that I would change the dates but on each page. But now I am finding that I can swap out certain months with the dashboard rather than redating the dates on here. If I can find inserts from previous years rather than just changing the dates manually. So that has been something that I'm having a lot of fun with. And it's been going well so far. So I'm going to try and continue that. This planner, I'm definitely enjoying using it this year. And last but not least, this is my faith journal. I got this as a gift, so I don't actually know which brand it's from, but it's just a simple lined notebook, and it came with the cover as well. I think out of my lineup, this is probably the journal that I've used the least so far, but I am starting to make a bit of progress in it. It's definitely more of a creative outlet for me recently. And I started filling out some of the pages, but there are definitely a lot more pages left to work with. So I am going to try and spend more time on this journal for sure. But at the moment, I'm still working with the pages I've already set up. I really enjoyed setting this up in the beginning, and I just need to make more time to sit down and actually fill it out. But I've only managed to fill in sections here and there. As you can see, this page I'm still working on, but that's okay because I can take the time to memorize verses as I go along. It doesn't have to be something that I have all together right now. So, and this page I definitely want to use more of. I do keep letters in here, like prayer letters to God. So I do use this. Um, I do use this and also have prayer lists that I kind of tuck in here. But I do want to make more use of this page, just spend more time in prayer and that. So that's one thing I need to remind myself to do. And I have added a few more pages on here, but not much. I have added a playlist here, and I definitely want to add more playlist spreads. I really like having those. I created this one using printable stickers, and yeah, so I definitely think I want to do more creative journaling in this notebook for sure. And at the moment, I'm currently in the middle of a Bible study on the book of Philippians. So this page isn't complete yet, but once I finish like my study, this will be a completed spread, which I've actually enjoyed. I definitely want to do more things like this. Although I have a separate notebook to write daily scriptures in, I think having a more of an in-depth Bible study of specific books of the Bible, of like important figures in the Bible, and specific stories, scripture, I definitely want to focus more on that. So that is going to be something that I will probably focus more on going forward. I don't expect to complete every single page by the end of the year, but I wouldn't mind actually continuing this into the next year. So it's not a matter of time for me. I think I definitely have more space here to continue this into the new year if I if I want to. So I'm happy with the progress I made so far, but I'm definitely going to be more intentional about using this journal more consistently. Aside from my current lineup, I do want to share some new things that have been added to my lineup and my stationery collection as well. I have recently added a new notebook to my lineup, and it's this one. It's basically a language kind of journal that I've got. I got this from a local stationery shop, and it's basically just a lined notebook. So the pages are quite simple, but I'm going to use this to kind of study languages that I like. I do watch a lot of K-dramas, so I pick up a lot of Korean there. So having space to jot that down. And I'm also trying to learn my native mother tongue as well. So having that, having this close by in my bag can help me to be more consistent with it. I haven't made a lot of progress with it yet, but I'm hoping to spend more time in this as well. So I will probably use this more for vocab, phrases, that kind of thing. And that's what I'm planning to do with that. I also have a mini haul for you guys. I'm trying to keep my stationery collection quite small at the moment, so I didn't grab a lot of things, but I did manage to get my hands on one of these. This is a mini happy planner in the vertical layout, and it's one of their July to June planners. I saw this and I just really like the design. I think the dividers in here are so pretty. I'll just show you some of them. I just think that I really like the neutral kind of theme it has, and it just really pairs very well with the vibe that I have in my previous planner. So I feel like it would be a nice seamless transition if I decide to use this for the next year. And yeah, I think these just look really, really pretty. At the moment, because I've spent the first half of this year in the dashboard layout and I've managed to adjust to it for the most part, I think I'm still deciding whether I want to stick with the dashboard layout for next year or if I want to go back to the vertical. Obviously, this is a vertical planner, as you can see, and it's what I'm used to. I've planned in the vertical layout for 2 years already, so but I am quite liking the dashboard layout, so I'm a bit conflicted at the moment, but at least I have the rest of the year to figure out if I want to stick with this layout or if I want to, you know, go back to the vertical, go back to what I know. So I guess the next few months will be very crucial for me in deciding that. But at least I have options. I do have some dashboard undated inserts that I can use if I want to swap these out. And I also do have some vertical undated ones as well. So I don't have as much pressure when it comes to redating or anything like that or switching things out. But yeah, I would definitely be doing a lot of thinking about what I'm going to use as my main planner layout for next year. But I do know that I really like this design. I love this theme, and I think it'll be so exciting to move into this planner, however it looks at the end. As I was flipping through this, I did notice that some of these pages haven't come up very well in terms of printing, or at least they haven't been cut correctly. If I show you some of them, ones I've noticed, especially with the currently pages, I have noticed a couple of them are a little bit close to the edge of the page. See, something like this here, you can see that kind of, it's very close to the edge here. If I compare it to the previous month, it's quite close there. It's a lot closer. Probably hasn't been cut very accurately there. And even here you can kind of see it's quite close to the edge here, which is not what you normally see in this planner. And here as well, that's quite close. It's been cut quite close there to the edge. I can just compare that one. So will that influence my decision to stick with the dashboard or change back to the vertical? I don't know. That might be something else I might have to consider. You can even see here, like the border is completely almost meeting the edge of the page. So yeah, it's a shame that the inserts have come out like this. It's not something that I can't use, but it may influence how I decide to use this planner in my next year's setup. So it'll be something extra for me to think about as well. The other item I got from the Happy Planner is the Midnight Meadow sticker book. This is the collaboration with Paper Raven Co. I really like the look of these colors, and I thought I can use them for multiple things. And inside, the stickers are, a lot of them are quite big, but they're also quite decorative. I kind of wanted a mix of functional and decorative stickers, especially with florals in them. And I really like the collection in here. There's some quote stickers as well, which would be very useful. And yeah, a lot of these stickers are quite large compared to what I'm used to from the Happy Planner, but they're definitely something I can work with in a mini. And also, if I want to use them for journaling, I might do that as well. So I really love this sticker book. I'm hoping that it will come in handy in my planner in multiple spreads, especially since they're different colors, different kind of patterns to work with. So it'll be nice to add this to my collection. That is basically all that I've ordered recently. I think the last time I ordered from the Happy Planner, I only got 2 new sticker books. So I'm definitely trying to stay on top of my collection at the moment. I am trying to use up my sticker stash as much as possible. So yeah, that's my intention going forward, is using my stash. I really don't want to build up too many things and then be overwhelmed by how much I have how much I have amassed over since I started this planner hobby. So yeah, I'm just trying to stay on top of my stash, keep it as compact as I can, but also make use of it as much as possible. And that's basically it for this video. So I started the year with 4 notebooks and journals, which are here. And I have added one more onto it, which is my language journal. And at the moment, I do think my planner system, it is working well in most of the time. I think the strongest aspects of it are my main planner, the mini Happy Planner, and my work planner. And I am enjoying the faith journal as well. I'm definitely going to continue with that. I do need to decide about my my journal, how I want to complete this journal, and how I want to adapt my journaling system if I can. But that's not something that I will be focusing too much on in the next few weeks, at least, maybe later towards the end of the year. And my work planner as well, although I enjoy using this planner, I definitely need to think about how I'm going to plan next year. I think, should I stick with the same planner or maybe something different? Or maybe just not really focus too much on the weeklies and just on the monthlies. I'm not sure. I'm gonna really have a think about that as well. But we'll see how the rest of the year goes, and hopefully by then I will probably have made some improvements that have actually benefited me, especially in terms of planning my content as well. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about these notebooks. If you want to see more of a closer look at any of my journals and notebooks, you can check out the other videos on my channel. I do have some setups for most of these anyway. And stay tuned for more. I should hopefully be sharing some more with you soon. So I will see you again in the next one. Bye.